Good morning. This is Dan Way at the State Treasurer's Office. I want to thank you all for joining us on the November 2021 edition of Ask Me Anything. This is your chance to ask the Treasurer what's on your mind, and he'll have an opportunity to tell you what's on his. And with that, we'll get started with some opening remarks from the Treasurer.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you all for joining us. Just very quickly, we normally we have Ask Me Anything after the Council of State, but the governor did not convene the Council of State this month. But there's still a lot of things going on at the Treasurer's Office. This afternoon we have our local government commission meeting. There's been recent reports put out about charity care, a partnership that we formed many months ago with Johns Hopkins University to determine the pluses and minuses of the tax benefits that these multi-billion-dollar corporations get in relation to the charity care they provide. And with that, I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Treasurer Folwell. For those of you who've been on these calls before, you know the setup. For those of you who haven't been, we really have a freewheeling policy here. You just pipe up when you have a question, and all we ask is that you give us your name and your media outlet.
And mute your phone.
If you're not asking questions.
And if you're on the call and you have background noise, could you please mute your phone, because that's very distracting for all of us. So thank you. That being said, we'll entertain the first question. We're ready for the first question.
Mr. Folwell?
Yes.
This is Kurt Vinson with the Laurinburg Exchange. Good morning.
Hey, Kurt, how are you?
Good. I'm going to lead you into another topic, and that is with the situation with East Laurinburg.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the LGC will be meeting today, and I expect that they will be suggesting that the charter be removed from that town. And is that pretty much just a formality this afternoon?
Kurt, thank you, and thank you for your interest in informing your readers about this important topic of the last few months. To kind of summarize your question into my answer, the LGC is meeting today to take the step to assume control of East Laurinburg, which is one of the steps in the processes that is available to us through the LGC toolkit, which was recently passed by the General Assembly and signed by the governor. So this is a process of us assuming control of the books of East Laurinburg, especially in light of the auditor's investigation that recently came out. And to your point, we have the local government commission unanimously, and just remember, this is the state auditor, the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Revenue, and appointees by the governor, the speaker, and the president pro tem of the Senate. They unanimously months ago passed a resolution asking that East Laurinburg be dechartered. And as I put in a press release the other day, as somebody who's been a motorcycle mechanic for over 53 years, there's no tool in my toolbox or in our state treasurer's office toolbox that can fix East Laurinburg. And as you know, and some others on this call may be interested to know, there's an election in East Laurinburg today. And Kurt, as you have so widely reported in the Laurinburg Exchange, there are 4 city council seats and 1 mayor's race, and there's only 1 person on the ballot, not 1 person per race, only 1 person, period. So it's obvious there's a total lack of interest in East Laurinburg about governance, and that's why we have taken this step, and that's why we continue to take this step today at the LGC meeting.
Thank you, Treasurer. You have a follow-up, Kurt?
Yes, I do. You mentioned the election going on today. In the off chance that somebody actually does get elected for one or more of those positions, what happens to those to that election going forward?
Well, I used to stutter, so I've spent a large part of my life going to the dictionary, but as I've gone to the dictionary recently to try to figure out if one person can be a quorum, if there's only one person elected on the city council out of four, we're even the School of Government has not had to deal with this question before. But it's actually it's a very serious question. But at the end of the day, as you may know, we've taken over Robersonville, we've taken over Eureka, we've just assumed control of Spring Lake, Cliffside, Sanitary District, Kingstown. So whether these folks, all those entities that I just mentioned have governing bodies and city councils, but we just assume control of the finances of those organizations. So we'll just have to see how the election turns out, Kurt. So, and I can probably better answer that question tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
And by the way, Kurt, I know this is old news to you, but when we started this process on East Laurinburg months and months ago, I sent an email and got a very timely and polite response. There's always been some concern about Laurinburg's interest in East Laurinburg, and I got an email from the city manager representing the council of Laurinburg, and said they had no interest in annexing or doing anything with East Laurinburg. So at the end of the day, when East Laurinburg is ultimately dechartered, the folks of that community will be saving property taxes. And as we face increasing inflation, as we head into the fall and winter months of North Carolina, any savings that they could enjoy would be, I'm sure, much appreciated.
Good discussion. Do you have any other follow-ups, Kurt?
No, I think that's good. Thank you.
Good. Well, we appreciate you. Okay, moving on. Someone else have another question? We are open for questions. Well, if not, I guess we'll go to closing remarks from the treasurer.
Well, thank you, Dan. Thank you all for joining us. I know this is election day, and so I'm sure a lot of people are distracted into other situations. Just to let you know that the pension plan has been previously reported as topped 124 billion dollars over the recent weeks. We continue to set all records with payments out of nccash.com. A part of that is due to the hard work of our UPD staff, but secondly,
I'm double dutying here. I'm listening to this conference call that John wanted me to listen to regarding state treasurer. Basically, with regard to that, just a phone call about to wrap up. The only thing of interest is that they're going to assume, the local government commission has voted unanimously to assume control of the books of East Laurinburg in Scotland County. They are going to also decertify them and decertify their charter, but that's so far on it may be worth a VO for you. I'll have to get the audio from them later. The other thing is I've got 4 TSRs filing up right now. Carrie really wants me to get going on. I got Bitcoin, radiation, RDU safety, and a letter from a viewer on some contractor issues that I've got to dig into. So I really need time to do all that today.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Hope you get to all that. But as I close, I just want to thank all of you for your interest in the Treasurer's Office. And also, we've just closed out National Disabilities Employment Awareness Month in North Carolina, and we had a great 30 days to partner with the ARC of North Carolina, across North Carolina, as we try to match folks with developmental disabilities with potential employers who are facing an employment crisis. So this is not something It's like Motorcycle Awareness Month. It's not something we should just celebrate one month out of the year. It's something we should do every month of the year, especially when it relates to bringing the joy of achievement and upward mobility to many of our citizens who have developmental disabilities. So with that, we thank you for joining us. We hope that everybody has a safe and healthy and happy Thanksgiving, and we look forward to joining you in December.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next month.